Alright guys, so we're also going to be installing the Panda claw on the A1 Mini. In order to do that, I started and then I was like, oh, I forgot to turn on the camera. All you're going to do is this plate will be up like this. And you just take the bottom and you just kind of pull the bottom out and then lift up. And this top cover will come off. Then you have one screw that goes right through here, which is this one. You take it out and that'll pull your cutting blade section down, and that's where we're at right now. And then we'll carry on with our installation. We'll go ahead and remove this. And remove this. So, and I dropped that. It sucks. I don't know where that went. It landed right in front of me, thank gosh. So now we got those out. I'm going to go ahead and rip this thing off. And we'll go ahead and slide this bad boy out the way here. One nice part about the A1 Mini is the hot end is super easy to get off. So we'll go ahead and take that. I don't recall having filament in there, but I might. Nope. We'll go ahead and slide it off. Got heat paste, thermal paste on there, and now we can get that out the way. If memory serves me correctly, we have this one, and that one. I did put and that noise in the background is the P1S calibrating since after we did the claw on that one. And we'll go ahead and take this out. I really should magnetize this thing. And we got one more here, I believe. I know this screw come out because I remember keep dropping it when I was putting it back together. I'm missing one here. Oh, I know what it is. So when you do that, you have to take off this, loosen this thing up here too. I don't know if it'll be visible or not, but I'm going to go up here. There's two little screws at the top. There is a cable in there, so when you take these two screws off, don't go yanking on it or you'll rip the cable. It's a ribbon cable. And you just kind of want to let that sit out there and kind of just set it to the side. As gingerly as possible. Like I said, you don't want to damage that ribbon. And you can always forget about this. Pull your cover off right there. And that's your bearing that you have on that one. And it's the same thing. You have a screw over here. You want to loosen that. Take tension off of the extruder. And you don't have to go any more than that on this one. Then you can slide out this. Just be careful you're that. Telling you, I couldn't hold nothing today if my life depended on it. Somewhere. Gonna have to move this camera for a minute so I can get my thing at the edge of space here. There we go. Had to get my little top hat that I'm dropped on every one I've done today. You gotta work with a small screw daily. So one thing I'll look at is I'll go ahead and check the blade on that. And this blade looks good. It doesn't need changed. So we'll leave that there. Of course you have this plastic unit, which you know, don't really need. And on this unit, because there's no other gear, we're just gonna be greasing this unit here. And I'm almost betting that's the only thing in the shaft. I'm thinking you'll be greasing these gears and then the shaft and this shaft. I think that's all that would need to be lubricated on this. And you can slide that out, and that's the other part of your standard hardened gear extruder. So we'll set that to the side. I still have the grease from the other one, as I mean they give you enough grease. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to squeeze some up on my finger, on my glove again, and we're just going to slide that grease into these gears. Oh no, I got grease on my pay. And we'll get some more grease here. We'll kind of load them teeth, and I'll show you it here once I get it loaded into the gear. One thing I'll say, they give you plenty of grease. Good God. One pack of grease is enough to do like 30 of these. And we'll smear it in. And I'm going to wipe my hands off now to get this grease off of me. Don't want no foreign material in there. And I'm also just kind of going in with my finger and getting any grease off any parts of the unit that do not require grease. And that's pretty fully packed with grease. I know you. Just grease on these gears right here. You know, when you look down in there, you just kind of want to make sure that the teeth have grease in between them. And then we'll go ahead and I'll put a little bit of grease on the shaft here. Now we got some grease on that. And we'll spin it and we'll set it down. I'm not going to touch that. I'm just going to grab where the gear is. And we'll squeeze a little more grease out. And we'll put it on this nub here. And that should be really all we need with this grease. I'm going to get this out of the way, as it is. It's a unique little grease. It's very, like it gets on everything. Got it on my rods. Alright. So now, I've got the grease off my hand, and we want to put our unit back up in here. So we'll slide this up onto there, like so. We'll get our spring and our little, I just call it a top hat. I don't really know what it is. And I'll let it set like that right there. We have that in. Then what we'll want to do is I'm going to get a gear here. And I want to get my gear in there, like so. And I put enough grease on this gear, you don't have to worry about that gear up there. It should transfer grease fairly good. So now we have that in there. Now, what I'm going to do is take this, and I'm going to tighten this back down. In here. Good, I want good solid pressure on that. Yeah, that's good. Then what we're going to do, and the reason I'm not changing out these bearings like I did on the P1S is this printer has far less on it, and I did change them when I put the hardened gears in, so I don't really see a need for it right at the moment. And we're going to go ahead and get our gear. We're going to push it back up into place, like so. Now we got that locked in. We're going to get our little screws here. Go ahead and I put them till right when they're snug. Get them all in, and then I'll give them a little bit of a a tighten down. So we have that in, like so. Let's get the last one, which is kind of a pain. And that's kind of why it's a pain. While I have this up, let me go ahead and just stick this thing back in. I'd hate for this thing to break. You have to push this cable back down into the unit, FYI. Make sure you don't pinch it as you do that, and push that extra ribbon cable down, and we'll go ahead and secure this just to get it out of the way. Like I said, it's just the 2 screws on the top. No biggie. Right there. And we'll go ahead over here. Now we have that re-secured, and we ain't got to worry about that ribbon cable. Don't want to damage that. Fairly simple, right? And we'll go ahead and put our thing on, because I forget to put that thing on all the time too. I don't know why I haven't magnetized this thing. Well, there's a first for everything. It's the first time I've ever got that screw in that hole and haven't dropped it and had to take this cover back off. So now we got that on. We'll go ahead and put our other couple screws in right here. There we go. This A1 Mini is a great machine for if you're just starting into 3D printing. Even if you're experienced, it's a really great machine. Really enjoy it. For the money, it's pretty hard to beat. Okay, so now we have that in there. Then we'll go ahead and flip our cutting blade up. And this is the screw that I was talking about for the cutting blade. And we want to make sure we get it in there, and it is. And you just kind of hold it because it is under pressure. And get it started. You want to hold this thing right here until you get it in there pretty good, or you'll shoot it elsewhere. And also look onto the side, and that way you can see that your cutting blade is where it's sitting, where it should be. Once you get to this point there, you can let it go if you'd like. I'm just holding it. And we secured that in. So now that's secure. Then we'll go ahead, and we still got a pretty good amount of thermal paste, but since I have it off, I will grab some thermal paste here. I will grab everything but thermal paste at first, apparently. Oh gosh. I've grabbed everything out of this bin but thermal paste. I've got lubricating oil now. Well, I've managed to grab everything but the thermal paste. Good on here, right? Alright. And I've got this thermal grease here. It's Reality. It does the job pretty good. And I just put it on there. Get a nice good coating on there. Freshen it up. Thermal grease makes all the difference. Gives good heat transfer, kind of how you would on a computer, how you want to transfer heat away. Now you want to transfer heat to it. And it does the job pretty well. Go ahead and stick my hot end back in there. At some point here we're gonna get a little film down there. Just gonna go ahead and cut that off at the end. I'm gonna do a print job, I'll feed it through. Good gosh, man. These gloves are slippery. There we go. Get it in there like so. Take this. Lock it over. Now we got that in there. We'll go ahead and put our thermal sock, silicone sock, whatever you want to call it. Cover it up. Get that on. Take our cover. Top one on first. Dip. And put my thermal grease back. And then we'll go ahead in here. Hit the wrong thing. Alrighty, so now we have that in. So what I'll do real quick is I'll go ahead and hit the calibration on this one. Now we got the calibration starting on this unit, and that'll allow us to just make sure that everything that we moved around is back level. Get this grease off my table. And like I said, this here, let me come out. Alright. So now it's doing its calibration, and that's the old parts that we essentially took out, and how these are hardened as well. Of course, plastic geared, plastic piece. And I've got like several of these things. So I'll just throw it over there. It's a hardened gear assembly. That's all we really need to know. Get rid of this, and we'll be right back with you. now that we got this calibrated, it's going to go through its thing and it'll all be ready to go. So that's how you do the Panda claw from Big Tree Tech on the A1 Mini and the P1S. Hope it helps, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. If it does, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, subscribe, and as always, you can always give a super thanks if you want. That's a great way to support the channel, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Bye.